So Joe Person from The Athletic, of course, he's been covering the Carolina Panthers for years. He conducted a survey, and the results of that survey came out today. They talked to almost 700 Panthers fans, and so many different questions in them. But basically, we want to talk about this and kind of how that survey went. And this is the Panthers fans' outlook of this upcoming season. And as a spoiler, fans are feeling a lot better now under Frank Reich.
Vibing.
Now that Matt Rule is away. I can't believe that people are actually along with this. So here's how the survey went. We'll go through some of the questions here. The first question, how many games will the Panthers win in 2023? 49% of the Panthers fans responded with 9. Next was 8 at 22%, and 10 or more was at 19%, 7 or less, 9%. What are your thoughts? Where do you land on that, Mr. Ihnader?
I'll buy it to a certain extent based on how the schedule lays out. Because they didn't make the playoffs, they have a much different setup in terms of a road to get through the season. I mean, there's a lot of winnable games on their schedule. I mean, they're rolling through the juggernaut of the middle of the season of Detroit, Miami, Houston, Indianapolis, and Chicago. That's before you even get to a Cowboys game. That's like the middle of the schedule. Like, if you can run the table in the middle of that schedule, you're going to get 9. Like, I can see 9, especially in this division. Yeah. I can see 9 in the NFC South.
9 to me should be the sweet spot, because last year they won 11. I'm sorry, they won 7, with 6 of those coming after Matt Rule was fired, right?
Right.
And there's a couple of those if you didn't have injuries, or if Steve Wilkes was in place the entire season, that you feel like that maybe they could have stolen those games or whatever, and that could have easily gotten them to about 9 last year with what they had on the roster. I would hope that 9 is what they at least get this year.
Yeah, they trade Christian McCaffrey. I mean, the entire season was
it wasn't supposed to go anywhere.
No, it was completely turned over.
They weren't supposed to trade for the number 1 overall pick. They were supposed to just have the number 1 overall pick.
Yeah, it's 7 and 10. You get the number 1 pick. Oh my goodness gracious! Yeah, I'm like, okay, we're an all right team, but again, they went run pass option pretty much towards the end of the season. I mean, they just leaned on that offensive line and tried to keep things close. But 9 is reasonable. Again, when you're a Panthers fan, you really are feeling yourself right now.
Absolutely. It's been a pretty good offseason. Skipping ahead, will the Panthers make the playoffs this year? 65% of the fans said yes. We just basically talked about it. It's a weak division. I think the Saints are going to give the Panthers a run for their money with Derek Carr being there. And plus, they're the team that's still pretty much intact. There's a lot of changes with the Buccaneers, a lot of changes with the Falcons, a lot of changes with the Panthers. The Saints are pretty much intact. I will say that the Falcons will be better than what people anticipate because they just have dudes all over the field. But I do think the Panthers will make the playoffs.
Yeah, at 9 wins, yes. But it's a division.
They
have to win the division. The only team getting out
win the division.
The only team getting out of the NFC South is the winner of the division.
Yes.
Fact.
All right. We agree on that. Let's skip ahead. What's the confidence level in head coach Frank Reich? Most people said very confident, and that's 56%. Only just one person said they're not confident in Frank Reich, and they represented 0.2% of this survey. I am in agreement with this. I am very much so confident in Frank Reich, mainly because he has NFL experience and he surrounded himself with NFL experience, which is the complete opposite from what Matt Rule did. And that's something that, Panthers fans will be talking about for years. You get a guy from college. He brings up all his buddies from college. Everybody probably has a 5 years combined NFL experience on that entire staff. And those are the results we got. And it wasn't, at least the Panthers never lost or never won at least 5 games per year under Matt Rule. I'll say that.
Okay,
if you're going to get something good come out of it, at least they won 5 games per year under Matt Rule.
Right. I'll buy
Could have been worse.
I'll buy that a little bit. I'm a somewhat confident in Frank Reich, only because the Titans played in the division that they played in, which is the AFC South, which the Colts, the Texans, the Titans. It's like the Titans were completely inconsistent during his time there. The Texans were Texaning. And the Jaguars were literally Urban Meyer was hanging out at bars.
Yeah.
And even leading up to that, they were
getting on a plane with his team and all that.
Right. I mean, they're playing in London twice a year. I mean, so I'll go with somewhat confident in that just based on the division that he was in, and he had some tools. Now, granted, he had to go through this crazy litany of quarterbacks in Indianapolis, which sets any team back. It's like a quarterback that has to go through multiple offensive coordinators to learn new offenses. Same way with a head coach who's got to deal with a myriad of starting quarterbacks.
Right.
Like you think you've got the answer, and all of a sudden, oh, no, that's not the guy, so we're going to bring in the Jacoby Brissetts of the world. And I like Jacoby Brissett. Jacoby Brissett's a very capable quarterback, but he wasn't going to be the winner in the Colts that they needed him to be.
Right. Skipping ahead, talking about quarterbacks, Bryce Young and his expected level
8,000 yards
of durability this season. Well, I was gonna skip past the
That's
yardage.
Fine, durable. No, he will never be broken. He will never be broken. We'll throw for 8,000 yards.
The responses were either very concerned, somewhat concerned, not concerned, or I don't know on the level of concern for his durability this season.
Don't vote.
Most people said
it's like undecided.
Most people said 56% said they're somewhat concerned on his durability. I fall in that category. I'm somewhat concerned because I feel like he's done a really good job thus far. Played at modern day high school in California. If you're playing at that high school, it's pretty much like playing on a college team, like the way it runs. He had a lot of success there. Goes to Alabama, the best program in college football, has a lot of success there. Going to the NFL, I feel like he'll have success, but he also hasn't been hit by an NFL defensive lineman or NFL linebacker.
Yeah, he was getting crushed in the SEC. Oh wait, he wasn't because he escaped every time somebody ran at him.
But it's you don't think it's a little different?
He's got Miles Sanders.
You don't think
Chuba
it's a little
Hubbard.
different?
He's got Chark and Thielen on the outside.
So
Hayden Hurst.
You're not concerned at all.
I'm a little concerned because
so we're the same. We're somewhat concerned.
I'm somewhat concerned, but not between. I'm more like between not concerned and somewhat concerned.
Okay, I'm between very and somewhat.
Okay. I'm not at that point. If by all accounts, and again, we are believing the hype machine that is the Carolina Panthers PR guys and his teammates who say he's got command, he's moving, everything looks like it's in slow motion, he looks like he belongs out there, he's doing all the right things, saying all the right things, and he's got a pretty darn good line in front of him, including a certain NC State tackle.
Yeah.
I'm like, you look at it and you kind of go, the Panthers were built last year to run the football. They're still built to run the football this year. You draft Bryce Young. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I'm like, you drafted a heady quarterback with mobility. And then you give him Miles Sanders, who came out week one of his signing and said, I want to take it all 4 downs.
Yeah.
Like, you do not need to pull me out of the game. I'm your bell cow.
Yeah,
make it happen.
I don't agree with that, but yeah, I love where his head's at.
I want a competitive guy. Is it realistic? Probably not. Not in this day and age of the NFL. But I like that idea. Yeah. You bring in Thielen, you have Chark, who's a stud, and then you sign Hayden Hurst, who knows pretty much all the headiness of tight endery because he played with Joe Burrow.
I've been watching this team since its inception, and I've been covering the team since 2015.
I know you have.
With what's happened over the last few years.
You're rabbit's footing, aren't you? You need horseshoes and salt over your shoulder?
With what's happened over the last few years, just with the quarterback position by itself. Cam Newton's shoulder. People coming in thinking that, what's his name, Kyle Allen.
Oh, Kyle Allen, yeah.
Was going to be the heir apparent.
He was great for like 6-7 games.
They thought he was going to be the heir apparent to freaking Cam Newton. And then, of course, you go through the litany of quarterbacks that came in every year. You have your Teddy Bridgewaters, you have your Sam Darnolds, you have your Baker Mayfields, you have your P.J. Walkers, all the different things that we went through, yada, yada, yada. I am a little bit concerned, just a little bit concerned, just because this team has not had consistent quarterback play. We haven't had a situation where the starting quarterback for the team has come back the next year and been the solid starting quarterback a consecutive year since Cam Newton. Since Cam Newton got injured in 2018. That has not happened with the Carolina Panthers. So I'm just a little worried.
Okay. It's all right.
I might take you up on the hug.
It's all right. I'm just like, if we need to light some candles, and
I'm gonna need a hug. Okay?
Do you like some just?
It's crazy. We can
just come back into recenter ourselves a little bit. I think Panthers fans, and you're right, and I think you do speak for a lot of Panthers fans who have seen the carousel at quarterback, who have seen the uneven play of this team, who have seen Christian McCaffrey sit out for weeks and weeks and weeks due to injury, and then eventually get shipped out of here because he had a monster contract. And then they couldn't make it work here. And then the team committing to a rebuild, but not really rebuilding at the same time.
Yeah.
I get it. I get where you sit. I can't say that I've been there, but I get where you sit as a Panthers fan.